tight. You must escape.
Good afternoon everyone and welcome back to Planet Coaster Alton Towers, and we're starting Phase 1B with Rita in Dark Forest. Of course, Phase 1B will be Dark Forest, the Alton Towers Dungeons and CBeebies Land. So I've got all those three areas of Alton Towers to do in this phase, and hopefully it will be out by mid-September. But more about that in the video. Of course, Phase 1A is now out on the Steam Workshop, so if you haven't downloaded it, there will be a link in the description to where you can download it. And most importantly, if you're not on our Discord server, of course, join the Lokin Discord server, and if you're not already subscribed to the channel, then please do consider subscribing. With that being said, let's get into today's time-lapse. So then we start off with the support work on Rita instead of the track work, and just to explain why the track work hasn't been featured in the video, it's because it just takes a while to actually make a good accurate coaster track. I think Rita took about 2 hours to do, and I had to do it on a different world to the Alton Towers world because the coaster builder in the Alton Towers world just lags so much because of the dropped frame rate. When you're out of the coaster builder, it just drops so much. It takes ages to place down a piece of track. It takes even longer to place down a block section or something for the brake run, and yeah, it's just a bit annoying with the optimization. However, as much as I complain about Planet Coaster in my videos, I have to actually commend Frontier for this part of Planet Coaster, these supports that they put in the game. This isn't Team TK, these are like actual in-game pieces that you can use, and it really helps with realism. And I actually like that Frontier put these in, when was it? It was about a few years ago now, these supports were put into the game, but I really like how they put them in, instead of just making you use the in-game supports or making you use art shapes to do supports. I remember, you know, people, especially like Silverette, for his Flawless coaster, he used art shapes to do custom supports because these in-game pieces weren't there. And yeah, it's one of these small things of Planet Coaster that I really do like, and I really do like that they put them in the game. So just doing the sort of like top hat. Can you call this a top hat? This is, yeah, it's more of a twisted airtime hill than a top hat. I know some people call this a top hat, but yeah, it's not really a top hat at all. And you can see there the different coloured track of Rita. Of course, that is due to Rita actually kind of reaching the top of the tree line. So the track has to be changed to a camouflage green sort of colour. Some people think it's black, and it's just a really dark green, just to camouflage in the trees, because you actually can see outside the park from the top of Rita and 13. I mean, 13 doesn't matter because all of its track is black and like camouflaged in, but with Rita it's bright red track. You know, if you see that from the Alton Village, the residents probably aren't going to be very happy. They moved there for a nice countryside view. They don't want to see a massive roller coaster sticking out the trees now, do they? But him just starting the rock barrier that goes around the entrance of 13. Of course, this has changed a few years. Unfortunately, with Google Street View, it was taken back in 2009, so it's Ugland, and 13's not there. It's under construction. All the Ugland theming is still there, so I found it quite difficult to get this right. And yeah, it's a bit annoying, but unfortunately just have to work around it. I try my best to find like aerial shots of the area, to find different shots of the area, but yeah, we just gotta work our way around it. Here I'm actually doing like a custom square track because in Planet Coaster, the hydraulic launch, and just talk a bit about why it's an SM launch, the hydraulic launch coaster, the Zenith, which is of course modelled after King Dakar or Top Thrill Dragster, you can't have triangular track on that, and also you can't incline the launch, which is a bit annoying, which means I'm having to use the Gerstlauer track instead, the triangular track in the game, and just use the LSMs, and I'm using the beam pieces to make it look like a square track, to make it look like a standard hydraulic launch coaster. And unfortunately, we have had to sacrifice the pure acceleration of hydraulic launch coasters. So Rita's acceleration, you saw it at the start of the video in the cinematics, is really slow, and there's simply nothing I can do about it. It's either sacrifice the look of the track itself or sacrifice the acceleration of the launch. Here I'm starting the catwalks, and these were relatively easy to do. Of course, there is the option to just turn on catwalks on the track, but we need the catwalks on both sides, and also the catwalk that appears when you tick that option. It looks horrible, you can't really change the colour of it that well, and it just doesn't line up with the track like the real life one at all. But there is a video I found on YouTube which was like an hour long behind the scenes tour of Rita, so that helps me quite a bit to get this catwalk and the station, not the station building but the operator's booth, which you'll be seeing later on in the video in just a few minutes time, to get those both really accurate. And yeah, that's what I try to look for when I do these recreations. If you are starting out a recreation Planet Coaster, don't just base it off of Google Street View or Google Maps. Try and find like images and videos of the area. Maybe if you're close to the park, go to the park and actually take pictures yourself. No, I'll be doing that pretty soon, definitely. Here I'm just starting the station building, and it's not really a building, is it? A station platform, let's call it. Yeah, they're both the same really, Rita and Stealth with the station platforms. I believe they basically are the exact same, to be honest. It's quite odd though that in a country like this, in a country like the UK, where it's cold and rainy most of the time, that the station platform doesn't have a shelter of any kind. Like Accelerator over in Knott's Berry Farm, it's sunny there most of the time, and that has a shelter. I mean, I suppose that's just for shade from the sun, but you know, it's why did they put a shelter over Accelerator and not Rita or Stealth? It's just a bit weird from Alton Towers and Thorpe Park, or I should say Two Swords, as it was back when this was built. Just talk a bit about the Planet Coaster station compared to the real life station. The station in-game is a bit wider than the real life version, so unfortunately I had to make some sacrifices. The station in real life is a bit more thinner. As you might see on the billboard, you can like kind of compare it a little bit, but yeah, this sticks out a lot more than it should, and because of that it's a bit inaccurate, and I really don't like that. It was the same for Stealth when I did that. Like, how long ago was Stealth? That was two years ago Stealth was now. Jesus, it's been 2 years since the Stealth recreation, I can't believe that. But yeah, it's same for Stealth, so same for Rita. But whilst I'm doing this, let's just talk a bit about Phase 1A. Of course, if you don't already know, Phase 1A is now out on the Steam Workshop. You can download it just probably searching Alton Towers Phase 1A, or there is a link in the description to where you can download it as well. And of course, unfortunately, will you be able to run Phase 1A or not? It really depends on what PC you have, what hardware you have. I can't do anything about it. I know I can only run Alton Towers on around 20 FPS, 25 FPS, compared to smaller parks where I can run it on normally 90 FPS, but yeah, it's just a bit annoying. That's the optimization of Planet Coaster. I can't do anything about it, and I'm really sorry if some of you can't run Phase 1A. I believe my friend Max, he tried to load it up. He hasn't got the best PC, but he's got a good one, and it took him an hour to load up the entire world, because you got to download all the Team TK items, and seriously, when it prompts you to download the Team TK items, download them, because if you don't, half the world's going to be missing, because half of it is made up of Team TK items. You know, most of Rita right now is Team TK as well, and I believe basically almost all of Spinball's Team TK. Actually, no, did it actually make out Team TK? I don't know, but basically all of Tower Street as well is Team TK as well. So yeah, download the Team TK items. That's going to take a while. Then you got to load up the world. That's also going to take a long time. So if you think it's just stuck on loading Team TK items or stuck on loading the world, it's not. It just takes a really long time. For me personally, it takes normally 20-25 minutes when I click to load it up. So it's stupid. It is stupid, but we must press on and we must get this recreation completed. I really do want to complete this recreation, just because I want to get it out to all of you. There's been a few Alton Towers recreations on the workshop, but there's not been a proper accurate one-to-one recreation of Alton Towers on the workshop, so this is what I wanted to do. And of course, we're starting Dark Forest now and CBeebies, and I can't use Virtual Towers Online anymore for reference images, so that's a bit annoying. But of course, Virtual Towers Online is a great game. They just released a new update that I might do a video on. If you want me to do a video on the new Virtual Towers update, then definitely leave a comment to tell me to do, and I'll of course do it. They turned the towers into like some sort of horror game. They put like children giggling in there. They put some sort of ghostly figure in a chapel. God, it was a bit spooky, I have to say. And yeah, if you want me to do a video on it, I will. I'll show you around all the updates. But enough talk about that. Let's talk about what I'm doing now. This is the last part of the video. I'm doing the traffic lights for Rita. Of course, they're the exact same ones that Stealth has, that Accelerator has. Top Thrill Dragster has different ones. King Dakar has no lights at all. But I do kind of like these racing lights that they put up to make it seem like an actual race. I mean, both Stealth and Rita are themed to a race circuit, even though Rita is in Dark Forest now. I mean, what is the theme of Dark? The theme of Dark Forest, it's still Ugland, but just taken over by a forest. That's the theme, isn't it? Because you can still see all the Ugland buildings where the Dark Forest box office used to be, and where what is it called? Is it Eastern Express? Or is it something different now? I think it's still Eastern Express in Dark Forest, but basically where all that is, it's still the Ugland buildings, but just taken over by a forest. So, you know, technically, Rita does fit into the area. And with that being said, it is the end of today's video. You can enjoy a few minutes, well, not a few minutes, but, you know, a couple, I don't know, about a minute of this cinematic. And of course, if you're not on our Discord server, join the Discord server. There's an invite link in the comments and the description. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, then please do consider subscribing. And of course, I'll see you in the next video where we'll be doing more work on Rita, and we'll be starting 13 very soon. Goodbye.